How long have you been licensed?
Well, 15 years.
15, right.
Yeah.
And so what was it, even though you're native, I'm sure your business now looks different than your business then. What did your business look like when you first got started?
Yeah. So if we were kind of talking about it earlier is, so many people look at all the things we do and they have to remind themselves that like I've been in it 15 years. Like I didn't just start with
Actually,
it.
2 years ago.
Yeah. Like you choose one thing, perfect it, and then add on to it. You know what I mean? Like keep adding new strategies. So really, so I was 21 when I got licensed, had 2 children, like struggle bus, whatever story, sad story we have. And I just worked my butt off. I worked in the foreclosure and short sale market because it was 2008, splitting with an attorney. So I was really transactional at that point. But Facebook was around, had just kind of came out, I think a couple of years before that. And it was always like, what are you doing today? So my thing would be like, selling a home or showing a home. Like that was how Facebook was used back then. And I just was telling everybody every step of my life for some reason. And people in the community, my town and friends started seeing that I was doing it. And the only reason I had business to actually be selling homes or showing homes was through an attorney that we had split everything to handle the short sales and foreclosures. But from that, I got investors. And then really built up the trust because not so many people want to use like a 21-year-old as a real estate agent.
No.
You
got licensed at 18, so
yeah,
I know the struggle.
Yeah, so you just start building that trust with people, and they start seeing your proof of what you're doing. And then videos came out. Snapchat actually was the first one that had filters, and I just thought it was cool to have filters, and that was what made me comfortable to get on camera. And I was actually just being funny or venting or something, it wasn't anything I wanted the general public to see. But then people started messaging me on there and they're like, this is amazing. You should share this on Facebook. I was like, seriously? And I'd start sharing it. And like I had one where I used 5 different filters, pretended to be different people. And I got 2 deals from that. And I was like, oh, okay.
There's something to it.
There's something to it. And I think that was around like 2011-ish. And then I just doubled down on video. And it was horrible videos. I mean, when you think about the pixelated, horrible videos I was posting, like of me walking around a home, like the worst videos.
You remember the iFlip?
No.
The little was like the white thing. There was like a little white. It was an Apple product.
Okay.
And it had a little camera. And then it had the USB. You just put it right into the computer and pull the video off. See, that might have been before your time.
Yeah, I didn't have that. I was using my phone, and it was horrible. But I was just documenting every little thing I was doing.
Okay.
And that really built it. And then I started from there.
Now, were you still at this time doing this process? Were you still kind of solo, doing your own transaction work, doing your own administrative work, or did you?
Oh yeah, no, I was doing everything. I didn't have money to like pay for an assistant. Now I wish I would have like 100%, I think it was about 2010. I left the attorney and went with like a boutique brokerage.
Okay.
And because I felt like I had enough business now, and enough business was like 10 deals a year.
Yeah.
But myself, and like you're keeping it. But then I was just working all the time. Like I was just working all the time. And with the videos, I started getting target ads for running digital sales funnels. So in 2012 is when I took my first course, and that became the catalyst of me constantly learning. Like I was a bad student in school, but I love learning and things I actually like.
Were you not a bad student?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I was like, oh, I just didn't care about that stuff, like this stuff's interesting. So I learned how to run a funnel. And then I realized how important video is to run a funnel because of how you can retarget your audience once they see it. And we did landing pages, we did all of that. And then it's just, I became an expert at that and a master at that and started getting clients and leads.
All right, let me give the quote of the day. All right, let me give it. All right, quote of the day. In the real estate business, you learn more about people and you learn more about community issues. You learn more about life. You learn more about the impact of government, probably than any other profession that I know of. Johnny Isaacson.
I agree.
For the day.
I agree.
All right.
So became an expert at that, and then started taking multiple other real estate courses and added in mailers, added in, community content. You just like keep building all of it. And I think my passion really does lie in like the community involvement and in the marketing side of the business. And that's when I realized, okay, I can't be at conferences and I can't be behind my computer 24/7 and actually sell homes still. So I need a team.
Okay. Right. So trying to learn and grow your business.
Yeah.
And raise a family.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot. So I started with a buyer's agent first, and she really helped me because I was such a control freak on like letting go. So we developed all of the systems together. Like I over-explained every step and made a checklist. And like the girls even laugh at me still now because of my checklist. There's so many checklists. But it was the only way that I felt like I could trust somebody else with my clients.
And you can look and see, are all the box lines checked? Okay,
Did
we're good.
Yeah. Did they do it? So that's where really then the systems came in place. But in hindsight, I should have absolutely gotten a transaction coordinator first, and then an assistant, and then buyer's agents.
If you could rewind the clock. But you worked out okay.
Yeah. I'm saying this for others,
So, okay, so how was it, 21, 23, 24, small children, and then trying to serve clients? How were you able to make all that work and still and still believe that it's gonna work out? I mean, making enough money and not, a lot of people quit. We know the failure rate.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people quit and say, this isn't gonna work, I'll just go get a job. But being able to keep
I just think like failure wasn't an option. Like what else was I gonna do?
Right. So it had to work.
Yeah.
You pushed through.
Yeah. In high school, I'd worked at a bank, and that kind of started the financial thing. And then I worked for an insurance agent, and that started a lot of the systems from there. I think I was from 18 to, probably 21, doing insurance. So
You were doing insurance sales?
I was an assistant for somebody and then moved up to sales. But yeah, I learned so much in that avenue too, and like being comfortable with talking to people. And then I looked at a settlement statement, and I'm like looking at commission. I'm like,
I want to do that.
okay, well, I'm getting salary plus $20 a policy I close. I'm like, I can make some more money doing this. And that was ultimately what led to the transition. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I just let my insurance license lapse. I still was just holding on to it because, like,
You never know.
you never know, right? And but
You
yeah,
might need to get it back. Think about some JV opportunities.
I know. Well, now I'm like, okay, well, why did I do that?
In the future, next time we talk, it'll all be in place.
Yeah.
All right. So good. So then at some point you realized, and I guess that would be mid, I guess 25, 26, when you realized you needed some help.
Oh, well, no, really, it was like 5 years ago.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
kept pushing solo for a while.
Yeah.
For 10 years.
I would easily work 80-hour weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that obviously that's tough on the family. Yeah, that's tough on the family.
real.
And so, like when my kids would say, what's daddy's favorite thing to do? And they would always say, oh, it's work.
Well, my husband laughs and teases that my hobby is work. I mean, but this is my hobby. Like, we're at a conference right now and we're learning, and like it does fill me up. Like, it does constantly like, oh, I could do that, or I could implement that, or that's cool. Like, it makes you
Sharper.
Yeah.
And shut things iron.
Yeah. And I guess it is a hobby. At least we get to
Work is
travel.
hobby. Yeah, we get to travel, get to,
know?
it's a little rainy today, but
Yeah.
usually the weather's nice. We're in a great city in Nashville.
Yeah. So I think as like for like the mother standpoint, I think because I was young and had the kids, and there was a lot going on. Like my son had illnesses. There was a lot going on. And I don't do well in emotional settings. So what am I good at? Oh, I'm good at working. So like something hard's going on in life, I'm like, I can work. It'll fix it all. So, I mean, really, like, if somebody wants to know how you juggle the business and kids, like, my husband was great with the kids. Hey,